Okay, so today I have a full melee counter moveset. If you have any moveset theme suggestions, leave them in the comments and the best ones will be featured in future videos. So I know that I've made a previous video which had a very similar moveset to this, but I just wanted to focus on this moveset again, because if you have a close-up melee fighting style like what I do, then this moveset is almost perfect. The point of this moveset is to give you as many options as possible when either you or your opponent vanishes. I think we can all agree that the most important part of any fight in Xenoverse 2 is to make your opponent vanish so they use as much stamina as possible, and so ultimately you'll be able to do more damage on them via combos and they won't be able to vanish or use a evasive to escape it. So with that being said, let's focus on that. Okay, so firstly my transformation is Super Saiyan, just because I think that's the best transformation for Saiyans. It's multi-purpose in terms of what Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 3 can do. With this moveset, Super Saiyan 1 will give you a decent damage boost while you'll still be able to quickly recover ki, and of course Super Saiyan 3 will give you a huge damage boost, but you'll be sacrificing your ki recovery. So what I'm basically saying is that Super Saiyan 1 will give you a decent damage boost and you'll still be able to recover ki, but Super Saiyan 3 for this moveset should only be used when you know you can use it to defeat your opponent because of the terrible ki recovery, because all but one super attack on this moveset requires ki to use. Super Saiyan 2 in my opinion is kind of useless now because the ki recovery compared to how much damage you'll be doing just isn't worth it, and I just think Super Saiyan 3 would be a better alternative in terms of damage. Hyper movement as my evasive because it's one of the best evasives in the game. I absolutely love how people call this evasive cheap because it breaks your guard if you use an ultimate attack and you're hit with hyper movement. We can now see our opponent's stamina and ki bar. If you use an ultimate attack on your opponent and they have 3 bars of stamina or more, what do you think they're going to do? It's the whole mentality of it's cheap because I don't understand it or I don't know how to counter it. It just frustrates me a bit when people complain about stuff like this because, slightly going off topic, the reason we got Ultimate Tenkaichi was because people were complaining that Tenkaichi 3 and Raging Blast 2 were too hard. So if people continue to complain about stuff like this just because they don't understand it, we're gonna get like really watered down games again, like Ultimate Tenkaichi and Battle of Z. Anyway, moving on. Reverse Mebiku Senko, because if you have a broken stamina bar, then you can use it to bait your opponent, and now it's been nerfed to an extent, so it requires 3 bars of ki to use now, even if you don't connect with it. The same thing goes for Pressure Sign as one of my super attacks. It's basically a watered down version of Reverse Mebiku Senko. Plus I think you can use Pressure Sign from any angle as opposed to Super God Shock Flash, which you have to be directly in front of your opponent. Now for Mystic Flash and really for all of my super attacks, I can use them as soon as my opponent vanishes. So instead of just having one option when your opponent vanishes, which is to just use the basic melee back hit, I now have 6 options, which is of course the basic back hit, After Image, Pressure Sign, Backflip, Do or Die, and Mystic Flash. And the point of this is to make you unpredictable when you do vanish or when your opponent vanishes. If they catch on to this moveset, then they have to predict 6 potential counters. Now granted they simply can just block, but if they continue to do that, then just use Mystic Flash to drain their stamina, or just use a heavy smash to break their guard. And finally, this is how I distributed my attribute points for this video, but keep in mind I was playing with limitations on. So going into the first fight, the guy picks Goku, and I have to admit this guy was really good. I had a ton of fun fighting him. Of course there was that glitch at the very start, but it doesn't matter. So after the clash I was expecting him to rush into me, hence why I used Pressure Sign. I probably shouldn't have used that there, to be honest, because now I've revealed one of my attacks to him. Now granted he could have simply scanned my moveset at the very start of the fight, but I don't think he did. But then again I got another Pressure Sign off there and it hit this time. But now I'm thinking like I don't think I used it again because he should be expecting that now. So I go for the dash there and teleport and it doesn't connect, so I go for the Do or Die. I used Do or Die there because of the position I was in. If he had got me in a combo, I would have needed to vanish, and I don't want to just waste stamina in the fight like that. With that being said, I did vanish there and I hit another Pressure Sign off successfully. Now here he gets me in the meteor crash and I'm thinking, well, he's doing damage to me, but compared to how much ki it's using, it's not really that much. So I decided to let him do that for a little bit so he uses enough ki so that he doesn't get a chance to really transform this early on. At least not transform into Super Saiyan 3. If it's Super Saiyan 1 or 2, I don't really care because it's not that much of a difference really, but Super Saiyan 3 is going to hurt. So here I'm in a pretty good position given my stamina and my health compared to his. Now it goes for the Super Kamehameha, and I don't know why, because I would have just used Hyper Movement and broken his guard. And from here, it's game. Hyper Movement really isn't broken or cheap. Like, that's what it does. Like, he should have looked at my stamina and realised I had more than 3 bars of ki. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? So when his stamina does recover, I was expecting him to vanish, so I went for the Mystic Flash, but he's just standing there. So I don't know if he's given up, but I'm going to capitalise on it, and that's going to be game for me. Going into the next fight, the guy picks his avatar, and I scanned his moveset, and he has Super Kamehameha and Final Flash, which I thought was very weird. Don't get me wrong, they're both good ultimate attacks, but they're almost the same thing really, apart from Final Flash does a bit more damage I believe, and it takes longer to fire. But that is a giant weakness in his moveset, because now I can just watch out for when he's going to use them, use Hyper Movement, break his guard, and I'll be able to capitalise on that. It's almost the same thing as having Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 equipped in Xenoverse 1, or having full power, energy charge and maximum charge equipped. Like, it's pointless having both. So I just went Super Saiyan 3, I did try to break his guard, but I completely missed. I go for the energy volley here. Here he's standing still, so I'm assuming he's going to use an ultimate attack, so I anticipate that, and then I break his guard with a heavy smash. So now I'm just doing a combo on him, and here I realised that this moveset that I'm using kind of has a flaw. If I had a beam attack equipped, like even something like ×10 Kamehameha or an ultimate attack such as Final Flash, then I would have been able to do a ton of damage to him because he just wouldn't have been able to defend himself. So he's got his stamina back now. I've got a good idea on his vanishing pattern, so I anticipated it and do an insane amount of damage using Mystic Flash. He goes for the Super Kamehameha. I can only assume he did that because he was desperate. So I break his guard, he runs away, I use the homing dash and beat him. Again, Hyper Movement isn't cheap. I had more than enough stamina to use it at that point when he used Super Kamehameha. It was just a very bad play on his end. That doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad player, but I do hope he learns from that. So going into the next fight, the guy picks Hit, and I love when players pick him just because he's a new character and he's fun to fight against. I get a perfect block off here, and I've noticed early on that he'll vanish when you just do a few hits on him. So it's kind of like a panic vanish to an extent. Now after the clash I go for a few step vanishes just so he doesn't know what I'm going to do. It was very easy to predict when he was going to vanish. It just felt like he was in a sort of rhythm, which I mean it's going to help me a lot. Just look at the difference between our stamina bars. We both anticipate that we're going to dash into each other, hence why I use Pressure Sign and he used the time skip. Now here is going to be when he really starts to fail because he vanished there for no real good reason. Like, he's going to vanish again in a moment, and I'll use Mystic Flash because I just know he's going to do it. I go for a quick energy volley because Mystic Flash sends him back, but I'm not quick enough, and he just completely cancels that out by hitting me. Now here, I wanted to do just a bit of damage because I was getting slightly cocky, and I wanted to beat him in style. So I break his guard, and I turn Super Saiyan 3. Now, I know I've won this match at this point, so I dash up to him, get him in a small combo, the light combo, and there I randomly turn around because of the bug. And I knew the moment he has enough stamina, he's going to vanish because he gets desperate. And again, I use Mystic Flash and I beat him. So there's one fight left in this video. I'm not going to commentate over it, and you'll know why when you see it. I would consider this a blooper. So thank you guys so much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. bye.